I read your artist statement and your application to the juried show. Your work is featured in our juried exhibition on view right now. And you are a sculptor, correct? Do you continue to paint? I know that you have a degree in painting, or do you
No,
strictly sculpt?
most of, I would like to, in fact, there's a little painting, pastel painting that is out there that I'm working on, but it's been probably 6 months since I ever sat to do it because I am so crazy busy with sculpture, which I love. I love sculpture. I love sculpture better than painting because I like the idea that I'm creating something in 3 dimensions. It makes me feel like truly a creator, even though I know I'm really not the one. I understand that I'm not the one creating it. I think an artist at best can be a channel, through which something comes, I like to, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm religious, I'm spiritual. I like to think that there's some higher creator that works through me, to create something that is most of the time better than I can come up with.
Yeah.
So I really don't take any credit. If there's anything good in what I do, I really don't take any credit. And I have people get upset at me. I say, come on, you got to take some credit. And I'm like, no, I know what I'm talking about. I'm just a participant, I'm spectator is the right word. Yeah. Just,
Well, you credit your mother and your wife for your success as an artist. You say that your mom encouraged you to pursue art at a young age. Do you think that if she hadn't encouraged you, you wouldn't have gone in that direction?
I mean, if, absent my mother, I wouldn't be an artist. I wouldn't be speaking with you now. There's absolutely no way that I think I would have been an artist without her, which is amazing because, like I always say, you probably heard me say this so many times. I feel that I was born to be a sculptor. I feel that this is my calling. There is nothing that gives me greater joy. And yet, I could have missed it were it not for my mother. You see, yeah, so it's but that is the story of my life. The best things in my life came, all the best things in my life came through the avenue of a friend or a relative, or there was nothing that I have that I sat down and figured out myself. You know what I mean? And it's almost like I feel like is a humbling thing, because when I think of these things, I treat people around me better because I never know what good may come from them. Because I know that on my own, I'm not very good.
Well, I don't know about that, but you are very humble in your pursuit. Do you ever work with other artists or share your studio space? Do you like to collaborate with artists?
No, because I'm strictly individualistic. I have so many friends that I want to invite into my studio sometimes, but because I miss my college days when we worked together in a common studio and shot the breeze, and had the wildest times, But you see, the older people get, the more complicated they are. I don't think I'm complicated. I think I'm still like a kid. But I don't want to deal with people who have ulterior motives, agendas, So I like to keep it simple. I yearn to have people come here so that we can work together. But I don't yearn for the the problems that he may create. You know what I mean? There's that saying that what is it that a good fence makes for good neighbors or something like that. So I'll keep my friends. I'll keep my friends. I don't want them too close so that maybe something may happen and we wouldn't be friends anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, so you keep a healthy distance, but also you seem like a very social person, like you enjoy being around people a lot.
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
true?
Yes. I think in some way I'm like an enigma because, and if you ask my wife, she will tell you too, because she literally will drag me, kicking and screaming to go and be with people. But when I'm with people, you could swear that I live to be with people. Yeah. So I'm happy anyway. If I never see anybody else, no, I shouldn't say that, because people will think I'm antisocial. I mean, I love people, but I'm also happy. There's something about solitude that just refreshes the soul. There's something about solitude, because the important, not the important, but the deep things of life, things that are truly beautiful, things that are truly significant, can only come to you, when your mind is quiet. Yeah. So even when I create, sometimes I turn off the radio. I mean, if I'm listening to the music and I'm listening to the radio, I'm just doing shallow things. I'm just doing things anybody can do. But when I really want to go deep, I want to lose myself. I don't want any noise whatsoever, and yet it isn't like I'm thinking too much about what I'm doing. It's almost like I try to get my mind to be in, what would you call it? To be in a state of, I mean, I don't do yoga, but, I sort of think that's what they mean. The people that meditate, they want to get their mind to a place where there's really nothing in their mind. They're not thinking about anything. Yeah. So that's what I try to do. See, I create because I feel. You see what I mean? I'm not an intellectual sort of person. I'm sort of an emotional kind of person. I feel things very deeply, and the saying, you cannot run away from yourself. Sometimes it feels like a burden that I'm shouldering, that I'm carrying, because what I create are, aspects of my soul. You see what I mean? Sometimes I spend so much of me in what I'm creating that in real life I don't have any left. And I'm almost just I'm beginning to realize that, because there's hope, there's patience in my work. When you look at my work, there's faith, which is kind of how I am. But I jokingly say to my wife that, because my wife says that I'm the least patient person that she knows, I say, well, maybe because I use it all up in the studio, because sometimes it takes me years, of waiting and working before something is resolved, before an idea that I have in my mind, materializes in sculptural form, But as far as the emotions and as far as the feelings that I create, they I want to say inborn. They are native to me. Art is truly a window into a person's soul, at least this artist's soul. Yeah. So what I do is the ideal that I feel very strongly in my heart.
Yeah, and you talk about searching for the sublime and artistic expression, which is sort of an art history, a nod to art history, in that you're looking for that. You want to have that experience when you look at a work that sort of engulfs you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I love that. I mean, in art history, some of the works that just, that moved me the most, I mean, that intoxicated me, were the works of artists that were worshipful. See, art that kind of a person can lose themselves in because of the aura that the piece emanates. Artists like Michelangelo, for instance, I love their works, because those kinds of works where, people worshipped, so to speak, on the altar of the either painting or sculpture. And that is what I try to do in my work. I want to create work. I've articulated it other times by saying that I want my work to be sort of like a shrine of sorts, where people can go and maybe, that quote by Picasso, that art washes from the soul the dust of everyday life. I love that, Because if art was only about beauty, beautifying the environment, I will quit today. If somebody were to convince me that art is about just the beautification, as important as beauty is, I will completely quit. The reason that I am an artist is because there is this desire that I have, and there is this belief that I have that maybe that someday that I will arrive at that destination where I can create work that is sublimely beautiful. And when I say sublime, when I add sublime to beautiful, for me, it transcends just the beauty that the eye sees, but the beauty that the heart embraces. You know what I mean? Yeah. Art that is useful, but not in a tangible way. Art that can inspire, edify, build up, fill us with hope and faith in our humanity.